Hey everybody, welcome to this year's first meeting. I apologize for not being able to make it. It's my daughter's birthday and I need to be home with my family, so I appreciate that you understand. You're certainly in good hands with Rich, but take a little bit of pressure off of him. To save somebody from having to read this, I thought I'd read it myself. And Sarah, the good news is if it goes on too long, you just pull the cord and shut me down. Okay? So here goes my principal's report for the first school council meeting of 2014-2015. On behalf of the entire staff, I welcome you all to the 2014-15 school year at the home of the Trojans. We've had a very smooth startup despite the lightning that screwed up our phone lines and some of the glitches with our computer system around attendance. But I think we're positioned now for in a really good place for the year. Despite those minor glitches, the office is up and running. Danielle Jean Gates has joined the team along with Heather Morris as the head office administrator, and of course Angela Armstrong is back at the desk. So those are the people that are usually the first line of contact, and they'll be helping you out. Danielle joins Brenda down in student services, so that's the new voice on the phone as Joanne Kidd has retired over the summer. So we're very happy to have Danielle on board with us. This first meeting is really intended to get the structure and the operating norms established for the year. So I know that the majority of the work in this meeting is about the election of this year's chair. And I think it's very important at this point to thank Sarah for all her work over the past year. I think she's continued to do an outstanding job at keeping the group on task so that we can accomplish a lot together. I've certainly been happy to see over the last 3 years the evolution of this group. It's certainly grown in numbers, and I think we all feel very happy with the productivity that's gone along with that. So I look forward to the new group this year as we move forward. For those of you who may be new, the purpose of the school council in Ontario is to function as an advisory body to the principal and to assist in communication with the community at large. I appreciate that we've stuck to this function, and I ask that the group continues to view the fundraising element as an adjunct committee to this group and continue to meet separately in your work while obviously sharing with us all the great things that you guys do. I ask that we all agree to stay firm on our start time of 6:30 p.m. this year and finish right at 8 o'clock. I think it's really important to respect everyone's time and to ensure that we continue to remain focused on the time we spend together. It's been my experience that when this element erodes, that people become disengaged, and we don't want that. In each meeting, I'm obliged to share with you a principal's report where I bring to you an update of where we've been, where we are, and where we're going. Your responsibility is to work with me to better understand the items that you're interested in hearing about so that the report has relevance to the group. So tonight's report, I've asked representatives from TASC to join us each month to share what they're doing in leading the students. We hope to rotate students through this so that the students benefit from the leadership opportunity by being put in the hot seat to report to you guys. But they're an awesome group and they're doing lots already, so you're going to hear from them this evening if you haven't already. From the secondary world, Ms. Aslan began last spring working out the conflicts in the secondary timetables. They occur each year. She was able to resolve the majority quickly this month, and as it stands, we have 53 classes running at the secondary this semester. These courses honor all pathways, and we are proud to be able to offer all that's needed to get students to whatever post-secondary destination they have or are aspiring toward. Okay, we have 25 students in our co-op placement this semester throughout our community, led by Ms. Kirkby. Those numbers are up this year. We have a number of students taking online courses and a number in dual credit courses where they complete work at local colleges and gain both credit there and as part of their secondary diploma. Our teaching staff has high expectations for itself to provide confidence and competence for each student, along with the usual suspects that you come to know and love on our secondary staff. Mr. Alguire has returned to us this year to teach geography and computers. Ms. Anderson and Mrs. Collins have returned and are sharing the special education resource teacher portfolio that's been left vacant with the retirement of Ruby Doan. Ms. Devlin has returned to us and is teaching phys ed and science. Mrs. Belanger has returned from a semester off and is running our arts program. Ms. Toll has returned to us and is teaching English and science. Mr. O'Donnell is back. He's teaching math and science. And Mrs. McTavish is with us teaching English, careers, and civics this semester. I'm very happy to report that we are about to begin a new after-school Calculus for Credit program. This concurrent education course will be available September 29th and will be running through to May, resulting in an MCV for You credit for the students who participate. We anticipate about 8 to 10 students signing up for that course. For the first time, we are offering a special reading program to our students in both intermediate and secondary this year. The Empower program is brought to us from the folks at Sick Kids Hospital in Toronto. Mrs. Anderson and Mrs. Zuber will be the teachers implementing that program for a select group of students. Our LINK program has got our grade 9 students off to a great start this year. The orientation day was full of energy and it was well attended. This is the third year of the program, the LINK program, which is a credit-bearing course for our senior students in secondary, and it certainly has gone a long way to provide the mentoring and transition support for our grade 9 students. Currently we have 8 international students from China, Spain, and from Sweden, and they've made a great adjustment and have become part of the Trojan family very quickly. In addition, looking forward a little bit, Lizzie Somerville and Erica Doucette will head to Monaco in November to present their findings on technology and sustainability to the Global Travel and Tourism Partnership Conference. Lizzie and Erica won this honor as a result of their submission to the student research competition last spring. It's been Mrs. Kirkby who has taken the lead bringing this opportunity to the girls, and in fact Mrs. Kirkby took some students to this same event some years ago. So we're looking forward to hearing much more about that in the weeks to come. In a few weeks, Mrs. Aslan and Mrs. Morris will be taking a group of students to New York City for the weekend. This follows a successful trip to Europe last year, and Ms. Aslan's already on her way to planning out a trip to Italy for the 2015-16 school year. Ms. Toll has taken the lead on a new project, pilot project in partnership with the health unit. This smoke-free project will continue throughout the year and is targeted to teach students, staff, and the community about a smoke-free lifestyle. So we're looking forward to having her join us at one of the council meetings to share this initiative. This will further reduce our very small number of smokers here at GISS, and again, we always embrace opportunities to partner with other organizations in the community and the province. Our partnership with the local boat museum continues. This year we hope to have our construction students craft 10 opties, which are small sailboats, which will then be used as part of the museum's hand-on approach to bringing alive the history of the river here in Gananoque. Chef Hill and his students were in the park this past Thursday serving chili and other tasty treats to the community. His classroom has received a new floor this summer, and we will be installing a new, brand new commercial dishwasher any day now. I'm sure the kids and their pruned hands will be appreciative of that being put in place. We had a call a couple of weeks back from a parent inquiring about a designated parking spot for drivers with disabilities. And while I certainly assumed that folks would park directly out in front, we clearly could do a better job to ensure that this basic accessibility requirement exists at our school. And sure enough, when I contacted our facility supervisor, Carol Castleman, she was there within that day, and we now have a designated spot in our visitor parking lot at the north end of the school. You'll see that it's painted blue and has the appropriate parking sign. Both the main door and the north door are automated and are wheelchair accessible. It's this type of partnership that continues to make this such an amazing community school. So those are the types of things that I really appreciate. People call us directly, and that makes a good point. We get on with it and get it done so that we can make sure that we're accessible and responsive to the community. Our bandwidth with our computer system has been increased substantially. The upgrade took place last week. The purpose of this was to ensure that students and staff can access more readily the information that they can stream from the devices that we have in the building and the ones that they bring with them. So that's exciting news. We continue to be able to boast a very safe and friendly learning environment. We have a very low suspension rate and have a caring staff that continues to work each and every day to ensure that students feel safe emotionally, psychologically, and physically. This Friday is a professional activity day. As part of the full day of professional learning, we have Shannon Morrison joining us from Podium Sports in Brockville. Shannon will bring to the teaching staff how to accommodate students who are suffering symptoms from concussions, the effects of concussions. Looking forward to October. In the week of October 20th, Jesse Miller will be returning to us from British Columbia. The United Way is bringing Mr. Miller back to us, who joined us 2 years ago. He'll be speaking to the grade 7 and 8 students, and we'll be teaching them how to stay safe on social media. We'll post the date and time when it's finalized. Now, while the message is intended for the students, we will open up the invitation to parents who can join us in the mezzanine and watch from there. Tonight I've asked Mr. Brown to join us to share with you the evolution of our French program at GISS. With minor number drops in intermediate last year, moving into this year, we needed to move from having 6 classes of 7 and 8s to just 5 classes. So late into the spring and into the summer, we really wrestled with how we can make this staffing adjustment without impacting what you come to expect from our outstanding intermediate program, which is really based on combining all our students together so that teachers can co-plan and co-teach in a community approach, which I think we all can agree has been very, very effective. So this was a bit of a challenge for us, and of course we retreated to our values and our principles and what we believe in providing confidence and competence for our students, and immediately saw this as a great opportunity. So Mr. Brown's here tonight to speak to you about what that looks like and as it evolves, and I'm very excited about the direction that we're taking. And actually Mr. Brown is actually going to participate. He's working in a team project with Mrs. Watson in the secondary, but he's also joining a school board wide leadership team around the provision of French programming in our school. So that's very exciting. I think that stands to only benefit us further at the home of the Trojans. Mr. Bowlby, you'll also see, has joined us this evening and will share another groundbreaking opportunity for our intermediate students. So he'll share that with you. Just so you know, he's going to be recognized himself this Wednesday by the trustees of the Upper Canada District School Board. On Wednesday night, he'll receive the Trustees Innovation Award. We're very proud of Doug, but he's the first to tell you, and I think you can all agree that he represents the group because they do everything together. So his receiving this award, while is well deserved for himself, I'm sure he'll make it clear that it's a joint venture as always, and we can certainly respect him for that position. This Wednesday is a great start night. We'll begin at 6:30 and wrap up around 8 p.m. Folks are invited to come by for a bite to eat and take a tour of the building. Staff will be here to say hello. Each year we're proud to host this event by way of beginning the conversation with our parent partners. As usual, we've had to adjust the date several times to respect other events at Linklater and Ties that have gone on over the last couple of weeks, and of course to fit it around the sports schedule as it impacts Chef Hill and his students who prepare the wonderful meal. So apologies for the short notice, but I think you've grown accustomed to this, and it is unfortunately one of the good problems to have in a very busy school that's doing lots of stuff. So we look forward to the beginning of the conversation starting on the great start night this Wednesday. Our web program is off to a great start. This year we've chosen to have grade 10 students act as the web leaders for the grade 7s. The orientation day in August started kind of quietly with the shy students coming out of the summer, but certainly ended with a great deal of positive energy. So the leaders did a great job, and I think our grade 7s have really benefited from this mentoring and making the transition into grade 7 much, much more smooth. Last week our Link and web leaders joined folks at Linklater for their information night, hosted by Mrs. Melvin Long. Half a dozen Link and web leaders manned the table and took questions from parents who were there, and shared the school spirit and let parents know that we have a safe spot for their kids as they make their journey to us in the years to come. I want to welcome Mr. Mitchell to our intermediate division. He comes to us from Perth. Mr. Mitchell brings to us a great deal of experience and certainly a great passion for music, which is going to, I think, go a long way. In the months ahead, we'll be sharing with you some really exciting music projects that we're working on right now that we're certain are going to have a real positive impact and are going to be a big hit with our grade 7 and 8s. Some items that you can look forward to. I'm going to keep working on the website, a little behind because of some technical glitches, but we're going to get that updated, and I'll keep posting, along with getting back on Facebook and Twitter to make sure that you're up to date on all the good stuff going on. Please contact me if you have any suggestions about what information you'd like to see up there. That's always appreciated. Mrs. Clark is leading in a revision of our student athletic policy to clarify our expectations for our student athletes, but it also is going to be crafted in a way to share what our responsibilities are to ensure that this the student athlete benefits in terms of learning lifelong skills and leadership through taking part in extracurriculars. In the future, I will be presenting reports involving details on student fees, where the money goes to, and why we ask that of our students, and also along the athletic fees. I want to make a full accounting of that to you guys in future reports. In closing, I remind everyone to please contact me directly with any specific questions you may have. I look forward to another fantastic year at the home of the Trojans. I welcome you all. I'm excited about a great year ahead, and I thank you for your continued support. Have a great night.